First, let's start with this case. I, 28F, and my fiancé, 30, are planning our wedding, and last night he accused me of being greedy and rude. Background: I come from a wealthy family and have worked hard to manage finances responsibly. My father has given each daughter $120 for their wedding. My sisters used all of it for their weddings, but I asked to use $70 for the wedding and $10K for a honeymoon, saving $40 to help with future children's expenses. My dad agreed to this plan, but only if I could make the wedding work with that budget. I didn't make this decision lightly. When I first got engaged 5 months ago, I considered using the full amount for a European wedding, but I realized I didn't want to prioritize that. A wedding is one day, and securing our future financial stability seemed more important. My fiancé has been patient, but has accused me of delaying the wedding due to indecisiveness, though I'm just overwhelmed by spending so much on one day and managing everything else. Last night, I asked him to help review venues for a tour we're doing Monday. He rushed through options, and I started to cry from stress. I also wanted to vet the venue's prices before booking, but this frustrated him. He said I was rude for not wanting to use all the money for a wedding he would love, claiming that going over budget was fine because this was our most important day. He has always dreamed of a grand wedding with lots of guests. He criticized the venue I liked, an old library that only seats 180 and fits our budget. He said I was being rude by limiting my guest list to 60 people, so he could invite 120 of his family. He also accused me of being greedy for wanting to save the leftover money and said I looked like I was hoarding it. He argued that since we are financially well off, I shouldn't worry about saving for future children. He also mentioned that our wedding planner had supposedly said I was being greedy, though he later admitted to making that up to show me how rude I was being. I thought I was being fiscally responsible by saving the extra money, but now I'm questioning if I've made the right decision. Aita, let's start judging. You're not in the wrong. And do not marry this man until after the two of you have gone through some serious prenuptial counseling. The number one reason that people divorce is over money issues. And you two are not even on the same continent, let alone the same page. This is important, OP. Do it. You and your future children deserve it. You're not in the wrong. I know this is what every Reddit person says on wedding posts, but you're sure you want to marry this man? Maybe it's just the stress of the wedding getting to him, and usually he's super nice, but this does not sound like behavior I would want from a fiancé, as we're about to go into our life bound together. To me, it seems like you're being the opposite of greedy, and he is the one that wants to be greedy about the wedding. You're trying to spend less money overall by making your allotted money to go more things. He literally told you he lied to your face about other people thinking badly of you, so you'd try and change your mind on a reasonable decision that you were discussing with him. He apparently was super big on having a giant grand wedding, yet rushed through the actual details enough to make you cry? I am so serious. Is this the first time he's had awful behavior like this? Are there any other red flags you may have missed? Because all of this would make me look at him and call it all off. Is this real? A brand new account with an obviously selfish partner who is obviously projecting. That partner is complaining that 5 months is taking too long to plan a wedding, when the lavish wedding with hundreds of guests that he wants would take at least 2 years to plan. If this is real, it's an easy huger. You're not in the wrong. And I'd add, like everyone else is saying, this is clearly a mismatch of values, and it's not going to get better after the wedding. If you don't run, make sure you have an ironclad prenup. Next up, I, 17F, and my younger sister, 15F, are going on a vacation with my aunt this summer. The three of us, along with my parents, other aunts, cousins, and grandparents, basically the whole of my dad's side of the family, are all staying in the same villa that my grandparents are paying for. By the time we go on vacation, I will be about 2 months away from 18, and my sister will be 16. However, my aunt has said that she wants an adults-only bathroom, and that the bathroom will not include me or my sister. I was naturally annoyed by this, especially as it meant that me and my sister would be grouped together with my younger cousins, and 6F. She also said that she considers an adult to be anyone above the age of 21. But I know for sure that if I wasn't this close to being 18, she would have said an adult is anyone 18 plus. When I asked her why this was, she says it was because we aren't hygienic. I could understand this argument in relation to my younger cousins, seeing as they are both only recently potty trained, but I can't understand how she can apply this argument towards me, given I am probably the biggest clean freak I know. Additionally, I can't even remember the last time I shared a bathroom with her, and I have never given her any reason to believe that I am in any way unhygienic. She has also said that she wants adults-only pool time, again not including me and my sister. If I was young enough that I required supervision or inconvenienced her in some way, I would understand. But all I am doing is sharing the same common space as her, most likely without even interacting with her. Also, this is a family holiday with my parents and grandparents. It's not like she is going to be doing anything inappropriate or unsuitable for a 16 and 17-year-old. I've told her to her face that I have no intention of following any of these rules, but she seems insistent that I will. She is very stubborn, but I am also extremely stubborn, and I know for a fact that I could argue about this for as long as it takes. Aita for telling her I won't follow these rules, and Aita if I didn't follow them. Edit. There has been some confusion in the comments due to how I have worded this. My cousins aren't my aunt's kids. They are my other aunt's kids, who is also coming. Let's start judging. You're not in the wrong. She's not paying for this. She doesn't get to decide. What are your grandparents' parents saying about this? It may be worth having them deal with this. You're not in the wrong. Stop arguing. She can make whatever rules she wants. You don't have to follow them. If she brings it up before the vacation, be non-committal. I know your wishes. I understand. We don't need to keep talking about it. I'm not worried about it. Then just do your business where convenient. Don't go out of your way to exclusively use her bathroom antagonistically, but don't avoid it either. It's a bathroom, not a battle. Do your business and move on. Same with the pool. If she confronts you, be non-committal and baffled at her appalling manners, and do what you want anyway. You can't use the pool now. Yes, I can. I am here in a bathing suit. It's adult-only time. No, it isn't. I am here and would like to swim. You can't. I can, but I understand if you want to leave. You're not in the wrong. I wouldn't bother arguing with her, though. Just use the bathroom you want to use. When she complains, say, "Sorry, it was such a ridiculous request that I decided you must be pranking me." But seriously, leave that bathroom spotless. Don't prove her point. Next up, my half-sister, 25F, is graduating from college in August. I, 15, don't want to go with my parents to her graduation. So I told my parents I refuse to go with them, and they will need to bring me against my will. I know I'm only 15, so that'll be hard, and they're my parents and all. But I would rather be grounded for a year than go where it's only going to end in a fight because Dad and I aren't wanted there. BG. My mom's first marriage ended when my half-sister was 3. My parents met when she was 5. Half-sister's dad had a huge issue with my dad, and half-sister getting along. And from what I have seen, she was around 7 when things started to take a turn. Based on pictures where before, then she looked like she really liked my dad, and afterward you could see any photos with the two of them she was glaring at him or avoiding him, which was just after my parents' wedding. Essentially, half-sister's dad would start fights with my dad whenever Dad went to support my half-sister at anything, and over time, my half-sister started getting mad at my dad for ruining everything, or for making her dad angry. I remember there were times we'd be somewhere, and her dad would come over to us, even though we were on a different side of the room or space, and he would intentionally pick a fight. He'd even say mean stuff to me, called me a retarded runt and all that. But it was my dad he had so much hate for. He told Dad his daughter didn't need some random guy showing up to support her and screw him. My half-sister never failed to blame my dad. Even when she'd be there when her dad would start nonsense and come over to us, she'd still blame my dad. Her high school graduation ended with her dad getting arrested because of his reaction to my dad, and she still blamed my dad. I asked a few times why she blamed my dad. And she told me because she wanted her dad there more than us, and she'd always pick her dad's side. She also said I didn't matter as much to her as her dad did when I asked why she wasn't mad at her dad for calling me mean things. She said my dad ruined everything by making her like him at the start. To this day, she's cold to me and my dad. She has told Mom she wants her to still show up to things, but not us. But my mom told her that was not something she was willing to do, which has led to me not wanting to be where she'll be, or her dad. And I especially don't want to leave town for her graduation. I explained my feelings to my parents and why I feel this way, but Mom said I don't get a choice at my age, and we still need to show my sister we love and support and are proud of her. My grandma offered to let me stay with her when she heard what we were fighting over. My mom told her that was all right and I need to be there. Mom also told me I was causing trouble by being so stubborn. Let's start judging. Honestly, this is just sad. Her bio dad poisoned her mind against you both. It shows what kind of person he is. But she's an adult. At some point she needs to accept she is now the one causing issues. You're not in the wrong for not wanting to go someplace where you are unwanted. Who wants to feel like crap trying to support someone who clearly does not want you there? Maybe if you and your dad stopped showing up, she'd realize what she's doing. Maybe she wouldn't. But your mom is an idiot for forcing you all to go when someone is actively saying they don't want you there. You're not in the wrong, but geez, your mom sure is one. And so is your dad. Knowing the reaction that happens, knowing that your half-sister doesn't want you or your dad there, knowing that her bio dad is an insane asshole who can't control himself, they are both assholes for exposing you to this kind of behavior. If your dad wants to go and be a target, that's on him. Perhaps he even enjoyed the fact that your half-sister's bio dad got arrested, but making you a target too is just cruel. Hopefully you can convince them of this. You're not in the wrong. Every time you are around your half-sister and her dad, you get verbally abused and harassed. That's not fun or enjoyable. And eventually this will wear on your relationship with your mom, as well as she's the one forcing the interactions. So through her inaction, or forced reactions, she's forcing you to sit through verbal abuse and harassment. You all aren't a family, and unfortunately never will be, with the way you have been treated thus far. Whether or not you will consider her part of your family is up to her. I suggest saying all that and having a list prepared of the things that have been said about you to you and how they are affecting you. Moving forward, you may want to consider individual therapy for yourself and your dad. You both seem to need it. Good news. After you turn 18, you won't have to entertain this anymore. It's just sad that your wants and feelings don't matter, in Mom's eyes, even then. Next up, I have a 5-year-old cardigan corgi. He's an absolute unit, and as my friends say, he's high in strength constitution and low in intelligence wisdom. He often tries to eat things that aren't safe for him. I live alone and hired a dog walker I found on Rover to visit him once a day during the work week. Instead of going through the app, I agreed to pay her in cash. She's generally been great. But we've had a few mishaps, like her not telling me when my dog ate and tore up a wooden hand fan. I've given her the benefit of the doubt because my dog loves her and enjoys his walks with her. Last night, my dog vomited up 5 or so partially chewed, large, bright orange seeds. They are from the kunti plant and are in the same family as sago palms, which can be fatally toxic to dogs even in small amounts. Unfortunately, they are part of the landscape in my dog-friendly apartment complex. I decided not to wait it out and took my dog to the emergency vet. They admitted him to critical care because the risk of him deteriorating was so high, even though he was in good spirits when I left him. I messaged my dog walker to let her know what happened, and she insists she never saw him eat the seeds, and that she tries to prevent him from eating things on the ground. I know he did not eat the seeds on my watch because I exclusively took him to the turf-only dog park yesterday, which isn't near the toxic plants. This emergency vet visit is costing thousands of dollars. I haven't brought up the cost to her yet, but would I be in the wrong to request that she contributes to this huge expense? I get it's my dog, but also I have never let this happen on my watch. I understand it was likely an honest mistake, but also I feel as though it's really irresponsible to let someone's dog eat random things off the ground. especially if you aren't paying close attention. Edit. Thanks everyone for your feedback. I will absolutely accept that I would be TA if I asked my walker to contribute to my vet bills. I had several people in my life reach out and suggest I ask, hence this post. I will not be asking her to pay. I will, however, invest in good pet insurance and will only pay dog walkers through Rover from now on. I will clarify a few things for the sake of this post. Yes, I pointed out the unsafe area. Yes, she knows he will eat things off the ground. But she also knows he is trained and responsive to several commands including leave it, drop it, and wait. This plant is only in specific parts of the complex, which are easily avoidable. Yes, multiple sources have confirmed this was a life-threatening situation for my dog due to what was ingested. Edit Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. Thank you again for everyone's feedback. My Hoover of a dog is doing okay, his labs look good, and hopefully he's coming home soon. A few more things I'll add. I will absolutely be investing in a muzzle. Like some of you have suggested, it might be worthwhile to invest in a more vetted walker instead of Rover. I am very blessed, and my low rider unit of a dog's bills are paid, yes, by some of the very people who asked whether I was going to ask my current walker for compensation. I walked my apartment complex's property this morning. On the very far side of my building, there is a line of these palms that were apparently just trimmed, and there are huge piles of the seeds all lined up. Dog walker admitted to letting my Dyson dog sniff the seeds. So, it's a moot point because there are lots of things I will do moving forward to prevent this from happening again. Boy, I'm dense. I genuinely don't know why I didn't think of a muzzle in the first place. I've used things like grazing muzzles for my horses before. Medical scares and renewed agency are one hell of a drug. I do want to say I've truly been trying my best. I came here for feedback, and I got what I needed to move forward and keep my dumb dog safe. Reddit gives me tough love, and even when it stings, I'm grateful. I talked to the front office staff about the plants. If anything, maybe some signs can be posted. Let's start judging. Haha. You're in the wrong. You're in the wrong. You're in the wrong. You have zero proof that she was negligent here, and you describe the dog as persistently having this bad behavior. Yet you choose to live in a complex with substances around that can be fatal to your pet. You assumed that risk. You even stopped booking via the official service that may be able to help pay for things in case of an accident. Typical irresponsible pet owner, where everything that happens with their ill-trained animal is someone else's fault. Grow up and pay the bills yourself. You would be in the wrong, and you will most likely lose this person from your contacts as a dog walker or otherwise. She told you she never saw him eat anything, and she actively is preventing it. You asking her to pay part of the bills is saying she lied, and this is her fault. You say it yourself that the plants are all around your apartment complex, and while you say you took him to the turf-only dog park, you had to go from out your complex to get there. You sound certain it would have never happened on your watch. This means it has to be her fault. You would be in the wrong. I don't think you're the worst person in the world to ask, but I don't think the walker did this on purpose. I think the real problem is not going through the app to help in these situations, and also not having pet insurance. Pet insurance is so important and everyone should have it for specifically this case. I'd definitely not keep the dog walker, but I think you're on your own for the bills.